Well, I very much appreciate you joining me, Justin. I think we actually know a bunch of the same people. I'm starting to realize after following you, but the reason I wanted to talk to you today was not just you're a supporter of the Canadian Energy, you have a really great LinkedIn presence, not just developing your health and wellness programs, but also the stuff you share is very positive, and that's something I'm trying to support on LinkedIn, but also even personally, I'm trying to surround myself with, more positive people in life. But anyway, before we get to that, I would love to hear about you and your story and introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Justin Senger. I'm located in Fort St. John, BC. I am an instrumentation and control technician, and I also dabble in the health and fitness industry. Over the last year, I've been trying to build my online coaching presence, I guess, and I'm gaining some traction, starting to get a few clients here and there. I've partnered with Hogan Health and Fitness actually now. He's already established in the industry. He's been around for about 7 or 8 years. So I started doing some advertising stuff with him, and we decided to partner up. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, I work in the oil and gas industry 5 days a week, doing instrumentation, and I I enjoy that work. It's not something that I hate going and doing every day. I mean, it's not always easy, but it's I'm always learning. It's fairly rewarding. I'm teaching helpers all the time that are getting into the trade, and yeah, it's a good place to be.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Kelowna, BC, so I didn't move to Fort St. John until 2017. So yeah, I grew up in the sunny Okanagan.
You're
Um,
moving the wrong way, Justin.
I know that's what everyone says to me. You're going the wrong way, but yeah, I mean, there's positives and negatives about living down there. And honestly, now that I don't live there, I quite enjoy going back there, being a tourist. Just visiting and enjoying the beauty rather than being wrapped up in work and life. And you don't always get to enjoy how nice a place is when you just grow up there, and it turns into just another place.
For sure. One thing I always talk about Fort St. John is there's a few towns I've been into that have a real community feel. And actually, Fort St. John is one of those places that people are really proud of it. And every time I go there, there's a real community in the energy industry up there. Have you found the same thing?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. Actually, I had never even really been to Fort St. John before I moved here. My connection to Fort St. John is actually my cousin, my best buddy. Um, so yeah, I mean, moving here, there's definitely worse places to be. I mean, it's no sunny, beautiful Okanagan, but yeah, it's quite the energy community up here. And, most of the people that live in Fort St. John either work directly in oil and gas or something related to oil and gas. So yeah, people are proud of the energy industry up here, and it's quite the community for sure.
Right on. I wanted to ask you, where did you, or when did you make the transition where you thought, oh, being, health and wellness, have it be part of my life, to maybe considering that as a business? Like, when did that idea come into your head?
It came into my mind a couple years ago, actually. My wife, my ex-wife now, we were both into health and fitness, and I had been dabbling in online businesses for a few years. I tried Amazon. That was a pretty big failure. But I've always wanted to. It's always intrigued me, online businesses, and just teaching people something that you are good at, that you value, that you're passionate about, and helping them get into it. So, my ex-wife she was looking for a job that she could do from home. We were getting ready to have a baby. She was personal training at the time, so I thought, what, this would be a perfect opportunity for her to get into it, and eventually we both could do this as a career. So that's kind of when the thought came into my mind, and yeah, she ended up doing it, and she actually became quite successful at it. So I seen her do that, and I helped her a little bit along the way. Trained a few husbands of wives that she was training, and so it kind of got me started in it, and that's kind of where the seed was planted.
That's awesome. Well, it's always good when you can teach people something that obviously we all work out, go to the gym. I tell my wife all the time, I do it more for my ego and my pride at this stage, but I do realize even if I don't care about it, there's probably some health benefits I'll experience later on in life.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
so what's your plan outside of working out and outside your business and energy? How do you fill your time? Do you have any other interests?
Honestly, that takes up a lot of my time. Right now, I mean, with my daughter being long distance away from me, my focus is kind of on being able to free up a little more of my time to do that, to go see her. So yeah, I mean, ideally, I would be using this to free up more of my time, so I can take off a week here and there to go see her, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, honestly.
Where are your folks, Justin?
My mom's in Kelowna still,
Okay.
and my dad, I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I haven't talked to him for about 23 years, so
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right, I'll follow up with you in another 23 and see if we can track them down then.
yeah,
Right
yeah.
on. So, what I like to ask people sometimes, and you were one of the people I wanted to reach out to because I do see you as a very kind of positive presence on LinkedIn, not just in stuff you're sharing, Justin, but I even see some of the comments you're putting on people's posts, and I really appreciate that about you because at the moment, it's not necessarily a very positive place in our industry for a variety of reasons. Are you seeing some of that same cloud of negativity and uncertainty up there where you are right now as well?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. It's definitely a little bit of uncertainty creeping in, especially around like the construction end of the oil and gas industry, the pipelines and facilities and stuff like that. I'm more in the maintenance side of things, so um, there's changes with that honestly going on as well. Um, I have been going to the same oil company for a couple years now. That's going to be changing here in the new year because of, the market's shifting. They're changing how they're running their maintenance program. So I definitely am starting to see that creep in for sure.
Are you seeing, because you're on the maintenance side more than the construction side, do you see or experience some of the same challenges we're having in pipeline construction, whether it's, relationship challenges, it's just tough on your body, whether you're eating or drinking too much or whatever, some mental
Yeah.
health challenges. Are you exposed to that because you're more on the maintenance side?
Definitely, yeah, for sure. It's a lot of the same things, the long hours, the work. It requires a lot from you, a lot of dedication, and it's, and there's no, there's not a lot of loyalty, to people really out there,
Hmm.
So I mean, a lot of times you feel fairly disposable, one mistake or this guy doesn't like something about you, or there's just you just feel very disposable. So yeah, for sure. I mean, there's
That's,
a lot of
that's
pressure like that.
That's too bad. Like, how do you change that culture? Like, unless because you're not like an owner of a company or in a more of a leadership role, sometimes it's hard to change some of those cultures. How can you help do that yourself in your current role?
Well, I mean, all I can do is like the things that you're noticing about me, right? Be that positive influence. Um, give people compliments, help people. Try to just, I guess, not play into that whole culture. Create your own culture, and hopefully, what I've noticed is eventually you do find a group of people that do value that, and eventually, you aren't as disposable because they see the value in just the positivity, the wanting to help each other, look out for each other. Like that's what we should be doing, as far
Did,
as
did
I'm concerned.
Did you get that from your personality, or is that something you picked up on, like growing up from your mom or other teachers or mentors, that attitude?
I would say mentors. A few years ago, I kind of went down that road because, I did move to Fort St. John to start something new, and it didn't take me very long to see or spot this whole kind of culture, that didn't really feel that great, to be honest. And that was the very thing that I was trying to get away from, and I came here and I found it and noticed it almost immediately. So I guess I kind of took it upon myself to learn more about that and how I can go about combating that. So yeah, hiring mentors and seeing therapists, counselors, things like that. See what I can do personally to help the situation. Um, so yeah.
Outside of your gym program that you're trying to develop as a business, are there other? Have you been able to encourage other people along the way to try to improve their lives as well as you've been improving your own?
I would hope so. I mean, in the way of the helpers and things like that I encounter. I mean, obviously you're not going to always see eye to eye with everybody. Not everybody's going to have the same or be open to even the concepts that I talk about, or the gym or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I would hope that some of those people I've had at least a somewhat positive impact on, and been able to show them the side that I'm seeing or that I'm trying to promote myself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know there's at least one or two of them that I've had a good impact on, I'm sure.
How do you find, and this is probably more of a personal question, how do you find encouraging people to keep going when it comes to health and physical wellness? Because we all know there's that connection between being physically well and being emotionally and mentally well. Like it's all connected. How do you encourage people to kind of keep going? Because it is, we always talk and joke about the New Year's resolutions people, and 90 days later they're done. How do you manage that challenge as a coach?
Well, I try to get them to focus on the commitment rather than the motivation, right? Because I mean, as a man, or I guess anyone in general, it's a true test of character, who you are as a person, to be able to commit to something and follow through with it. Because motivation can be very fleeting. It happens with everything: your work, your finances, your relationship, your health and fitness goals. It's no different. One minute you might be all gung ho, you want to get started, and you're seeing results. I mean, it's easy when you're getting the feedback and you're feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
But those times when maybe you're not feeling so great, or there's something else going on in your life that's affecting the way you're feeling, you got to focus on that commitment and the reason why you committed to this journey in the first place. Because you're right, it's not always easy, and it definitely, that's what it takes, is committing and following through.
I know even in my own life, I've encouraged people when they are struggling, even with getting to the gym. I said, get a coach. I said, you might learn something, but a coach provides a lot more than education. They provide a remarkable point of accountability, and to me, that makes the difference between success and failure more than anything. Some days it's just having someone who's planning on you being there and showing up.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, and I've seen it myself, maybe not necessarily in fitness, because that's just something that I'm passionate about and that I'm very interested in. So I've always just been driven to learn about it and do it, and I value it. So I always want it in my life. But other areas other than fitness, that maybe I don't know as much about, like personal development and learning about myself and things like that. Yeah, I hired coaches, And same thing, you know, I leaned on them, and that's what I looked to them for, was the accountability aspect of things, to keep plugging away even when it's very, very difficult at times.
I would say that's probably the reason it's so important to surround yourself with good people, because when you are around those good people, they do encourage you to be better, try harder. Hey man, check out this audiobook or check out this book, or you know what? Get to the gym. I know you don't want, I know it sucks. I mean, that's a great example of why it's so important to be around good folks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, and that's kind of, like you said, comes back to creating the culture, or kind of combating the culture in oil and gas sometimes, is, you know, we need to be helping each other, lifting everybody up, you know, offering advice here and there, taking advice. Um, yeah.
Well, this is basically the reason why I wanted to talk to you, and I appreciate you making time for me, because I see you doing that, making those positive efforts and strides, obviously to help improve other people's life, and I hope they improve your own life, Justin, as you're doing it as well. I don't know where the challenges and positives lie in the future ahead, but where do you see some of the challenges primarily in the energy industry with when it comes to the guys and the girls in it?
Uh, that part I'm not really honestly sure about, you know, I mean, um, it varies from company to company. I mean, being a guy that, you know, I get sent out to various companies, although I've been at the same one for a couple of years now, but you know, I think it goes back to the culture of each individual business and company. You know, sometimes it can be very toxic, and that depends on the people at the top, the leaders, the managers, the people that everybody's looking up to for leadership. I would say, yeah, that area is probably the biggest um, hurdle, I guess, is getting those people to, you know, offer advice and lead the people underneath them better.
No, I strongly agree how important leadership is, because even on LinkedIn, I read sometimes about, oh, if no toxic culture is worth your mental health or whatever. And I'm like, well, okay, that sounds good on paper, but, when you have bills to pay at the end of the month, I don't think it's really that black and white, unfortunately, and I don't know how to fix it myself, which is why I kind of have some of these conversations, hoping to find like-minded people who are on their own mission, trying to do what they can in their own little space. As
Yep.
far as the challenges, where do you see some positivity and opportunities looking forward in the industry?
I think, you know, with the whole LNG thing going on in BC here, hopefully that gets moving, and you know, we actually eventually sell some LNG. You know, they've got the LNG Canada plant under construction, and the wood fiber LNG.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about what's going on in that end of things, but I do know eventually it'll be a pretty big opportunity, especially in this area, for growth for companies, and you know, that creates opportunity for people like us as they grow, sell, make more money. Yeah, that's where I see the opportunity.
Right on. Well, I certainly don't want to keep you too long, but one thing I would ask of you before we part ways is, do you have some words of encouragement for anyone who out there who might be struggling right now, whether it's in general with work or even, as they kind of rock into the holiday season? Any words of encouragement for those people?
Yeah, I mean, you know, although the holidays, it's about family, visiting with family, you know, connecting with people. But at the same time, you know, take a little bit of time to connect with yourself. You know, it's okay. You know, if you're going through a hard time right now financially, with work, relationship, anything like that, you know, take a little bit of time for yourself, and, you know, work on some things like that as well. Just because it's the holidays, and, you know, everybody wants to be happy and all that kind of thing. don't forget about where you're at and what your struggles are in the current moment, because they're still going to be there in January once the holidays are over and all the fun's been had. So yeah, just make sure you take a few moments for yourself and sit down and really connect with yourself and try and work through some of the things that may be affecting you.
Awesome. Sound advice. Justin, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I encourage you, man, keep doing what you're doing. I don't know what kind of feedback you usually get, but I see what you're doing and I think it's great. And I encourage you, just keep it up, okay?
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And thank you for having me on here. It's a good
Oh,
opportunity.
look forward to the
for me.
next time already. Take care, brother.
Awesome. Thank you.